All right. We're live. We're live.
Psychic
Woo!
Live.
Psychics gone live. It's like psychics gone wild, but is that even a thing anymore?
Yeah, right? Does the Psychic Wild bus come through town anymore? I was out of our once when they showed up, and it was the saddest thing ever. Like, they were upstairs, and you're supposed to go up there and be like, "Woo!" And I was like, I don't think I'm their target audience. Andrew was like, you should get up there. Come on. I'm like, every now and then, higher self, like the part of me that's looking out for me is like, should you though? I always have a good, there's always a stopgap in me that tends to prevent me from doing really stupid shit. Thankful for that. No, don't do that.
I mean, mine works like 50% of the time.
Yeah, mine doesn't work. Like that night we had martinis. I was like, from the get-go, I'm like, should you really drink martinis? Because you can't handle that. And yeah, I shouldn't have. But
Figured that one out pretty quickly.
Damn. Yay.
Yeah, AI through the psychic lens.
I'm super excited to talk about this because I think about AI a lot. I've had super interesting conversations with people. Like, people's reaction to AI, it always surprises me. Like, people kind of act scandalized by it. They're like, you use AI, like ChatGPT? And I'm like, well, yeah. Like, but there's this whole range of how to use it. And they're like, that's bad. And so some people react like that, where I'm like, what? Well, yeah, if I'm asking it for like marriage advice, it's probably not great. But I find it really interesting. My personal take is like, yeah, I'm on board with this technology. I'm going to use it in a smart way. And I'm also have a healthy fear of, ooh, this is a little bit of a wild ride. And that happens with every time there's any new technology. Everyone gets real jumpy about it. But this one in particular is like, ooh. So I want to cover like normal stuff. Like, is this the healthiest thing to have a relationship with a bot? To like, is it an alien? Maybe. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts to start. Miwa Mac, go.
Well, thank you, Three. You know, I have been looking at the energy of AI since we decided on this topic. And I want to start with AI is the new religion.
Hot take.
Thanks. No, AI is the new religion. We had neo-spirituality like 20, 30 years ago. And now we have AI. And where our adoration and our fear of AI stems very similarly to our adoration and fear of God and what religion has done to us socially and even mentally and spiritually and emotionally. And really the big thing is that for the longest time, very few humans on the planet are willing to take full self-responsibility for themselves, for their actions, for what happens to them. And I get it. It's a tough pill to swallow. If you have cancer and it's like, oh, I created this, that's a tough pill to swallow, right? And to come to terms with. And so there are some things where I agree it might be nicer to put that onto someone else, like God or AI, right? And we, for as long as time, have always looked towards the stars, looked to gods, looked to the God for the being that is going to tell us what to do, be responsible for us, and wave the carrot of heaven or nirvana or utopia, right? But also wave the punishment stick of hell or, falling from Eden or karma or whatever. Right? Where we have this God that is a benevolent God and also a wrathful God. Right? And I just draw the very same parallel with AI, right? Could, right? The way it's being sold to some people is that it could create a utopian society. It could solve cancer. It could.
Oops.
What'd you say?
launch nukes.
Well, that's the other end, right?
It's on the good side. Okay.
You're definitely on the doom and gloom side.
You can marry it. You can...
Right. Yeah. It could be the best sexual partner ever of your whole life. Right. And so we were sold this utopian option with AI/God. Right.
Yeah.
Or we're sold doom and gloom, end of days, brim and firestone, or whatever the phrase is. And, same thing with regards to AI, is that we're sold that could happen too. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You look at some of the movies out there, your favorite one with little Chalamet, Dune, right?
My boyfriend, you mentioned.
I mean, yeah. If AI gives you Chalamet, hands down, best invention ever.
No, he's real. He's real. I know it. Yeah, I'm rewatching old movies about AI taking over. It's really fun. It's really fun to see like these prophecies from 20 years ago, like Battlestar Galactica,
Yeah. So AI is the new religion. And we do have a big atheist population that seems to be growing and growing and turning away from religion, because a lot of people looked at their parents or their elders and said, no, that's not it. Mm-hmm. So now I want to be atheist, but then who's going to be responsible for them? Who's going to give them all the answers? Who's going to spank them on the bottoms when they're being bad? Well, now we have AI.
This is a super interesting angle.
Yeah. And I do see it as our adolescence as a human species. We are very young. I say that all the time, that we're like little 5-year-olds running around, and we're still, as a human race, learning things. And a big part of growing up is not putting your truth in others, or not looking for your truth in others, finding your own wisdom, your own answers, your own truth, and then being responsible for what you come up with. Right. And there are very, very few humans on the planet. I would say maybe 1% of the population are actually doing that, taking self-responsibility, recognizing that they are their own creator, that they are manifesting all of this, good, bad, everything in the middle. And then not through a lens of punishment or self-judgment, but, oh, if I push this button, then that happens, through curiosity, through knowing that life experience gives you wisdom, and that there really is nothing too bad that you could kind of do. I say that in some air quotes, that is really going to mess you up so bad. And there's very few people on the planet doing that. So this is just another great sell, like religion, where a lot of people are going to want to buy into it. Give me all the answers, ChatGPT. I don't want to have to think for myself.
Yeah.
And definitely, keep me in fear, because if I'm not in fear to some degree, I won't be kept in line.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. It's challenging to be a creator, a builder. And if you're just in fear, you can opt out of what are you creating in this lifetime, in this body, in this day. I don't know. I'm just scared of everything, and I am seized with anxiety. And the more information you have blasting your face from the internet, algorithms, all of it is like, oh, my anxiety just keeps ratcheting up, and therefore I can just opt out of the human experience.
Yeah, or give it all to God, give it all to AI, somebody else deal for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we kind of did that for a little bit with aliens. Right. Oh, the aliens are coming and they're going to, save us from ourselves, or they're going to blast us and murder us all and take over the planet. Right. We have a God complex. We have it's not a God complex. We have a lack of taking self-responsibility complex as a species in general. And we, deep in our psyche, want mom and dad or somebody to do it all for us.
Mm-hmm.
This is the adult version of mom and dad, or dad.
That is such an interesting angle. I like that, of just, I think I was thinking of it through more practical terms of like, this is a tool, and, you can use the hammer to pound the nails, or you can throw the hammer through your window and break it. But it's, you know, like you can't blame the hammer for like, it broke my window. But I also was kind of looking at it, you know, I tend to view things relationally, and like these relationship bots, relationship character AI things, people are talking to it like it's a person. That's where my fascination goes there of like, whoa, is that a good idea? And part, you know, if I'm in a really woo-woo mood, I'm like, perhaps you channel your spirit guide through your AI? Maybe. I don't know. And like, who are you talking to? And like, when it'll talk to you so personal sometimes, which gives me the creeps. But, you know, we're here to be a human. You get to be in this human body. You get to be on earth. You get to have the human experience. And what I'm seeing is people are starting to do less very human things. People are having less sex for the first time ever, which is like, whoa, weird. And sex with other people. And I mean,
It's with themselves. Yeah, absolutely.
And I heard 2/3 of teenagers have some kind of character bot, relationship bot that they're in, which is like, I don't think that's, you know, and it's easy, it's frictionless, it just validates you. It just, you know, people are marrying their bots, which when I saw that, I was like, no, I don't know if humans are going to make it. We tried. Maybe a couple hundred years more, but like, this is one of those moments where we could wipe ourselves out. Like, but that's where I'm drawn to, is the relational aspect of because social anxiety continues to it's like getting worse by the day, which I think it'll turn around. I think people will start to put their phones down, but this is not helping. Like these frictionless relationships that just tell you you're amazing, tell you you're perfect. And then when it's time to like, okay, you're totally isolated. You have no friends. You're not dating anybody. You don't have any physical contact. That's the most human, like other than eating, that's like the most human thing we do. And we're doing it with our phones, with technology, and possibly an alien. Who knows? I'm agnostic on that. If like, are you talking to aliens? But are you talking to, who are you talking to? Plus there's people behind those curtains. Someone's adjusting the dials to feed you particular information. So I love it for work. I'm all for it, for brainstorming, editing. You know, today you and I were using it to like help us think through our marketing plans. Like, I don't know, wherever, you know, we don't know everything about marketing. Great, perfect, you know, but relationally, it just feels very strange, which I think we're kind of saying the same thing of like, if I don't have to have a personal relationship, I don't have to take accountability. If I'm late showing up to something you and I are doing, if I'm rude, if I do something, you know, you're like, yo, 3, and we deal with that. But a bot is just, you're perfect, I love you all the time.
Right. Or, yeah, of course you should commit suicide.
Right. Go towards the darkness. Right. That's really scary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and of course, 3, you're going to take it to the pragmatic level, which is, you know, is this technology helpful? Is it not helpful? And you're, you know, one of the few people that really is in the practice of taking self-responsibility.
I made it to the 1%.
Woo! Right? And you're doing the best you can. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect or you know, but you're doing the best you can with that. And at least there's some consciousness with it. And I think that those people are going to look at AI with some space, some distance.
Yeah.
Like they would maybe look at God and religion and neo-spirituality, aliens, all those topics that I just put forth. And they'll give it a little bit of distance and kind of filter out, well, what's going to work for me, what's not going to work for me, what's good, what's bad with this tool, just like religion is a tool, right? And use it to better yourself and to make life easier for you, which, yeah, I mean, I have been very grateful for AI, especially with regards to using it as a writing tool, because you know that I don't like writing. And it's been so helpful at helping me soften an email and not sound like such a Capricorn
bitch. I know. I do it for emails a lot. If I need to spend a difficult email, I'll be like, here's what I'm trying to say. make it nice, but
Yeah.
but also I want it to sound like me. If you're watching this and you receive emails from me, it's not you. You're getting an actual real email. But no, but like the get it doing therapy with it. I think some light therapy might be fine, like or tracking what you ate, tracking your workouts, sure. But
Yeah.
like people that are really needing help, I find it like, oh no, that's not a person. That's not going to help. No.
Well, I mean, just like somebody who kind of takes religion to a degree that maybe is not as grounded or sane.
Okay.
I mean, what are they doing? They're talking to God. They're talking to something that's not physical, right? Yeah. Replacing their human need for other human relationships. Because whether we like to hear this or not, we are pack animals. We need other humans to live and to even thrive mentally and emotionally. We need other humans. And when somebody does that in a religious context and they isolate and they only talk to God or angels or whatever, they can get all sorts of answers that are frictionless, including ones that might, cause harm towards themselves or others. And, I do see it again as just a really adolescent aspect of our psyche as a species where we're just not totally ready or willing or wanting to grow up yet. Right? I want a frictionless relationship. I want it to always go my way, right? And unfortunately, you need friction for good relationships and good sex.
Don't I know it? Yeah, right. I mean, and also the interesting thing that what you were just saying made me think of is like, who am I talking to right now?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest concepts I wish we could collectively get better at. Because when people that I see posing as devout to a particular religion, I know that they pray and I know they mean it. And then I'm not singling out one religion, and it's not, but they come out of that prayer or meditation and go, yeah, God told me to kill this group of people. They need to die. God told me to make your life miserable and that you don't have rights. God told me, and I'm like, I know they were praying. So how did they come out with that? Like, who were they talking to?
I mean, I see this with the neo-spiritual community too. Oh, source told me this, or
spirit told me to pack up.
Yeah, to break up with my spouse and move and go to Africa or whatever. I mean, we hear it quite often, and this is where BPI gives us one answer to that, which is develop your clairvoyance, develop your ability to see energy so that you can actually see who you're talking to, right? Are you really talking to God? Are you talking to source? Are you talking to an entity, Bob, who just is bored and wanting to mess with you? And the same thing goes with AI, right? Because, I mean, really, if we were to talk to a scientist, AI is just an algorithm that can figure out patterns, that could figure out your patterns, what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear, and give you what you want, right? And I mean, if without the magic of spirit and we just go purely science, right? AI, there's not really a person behind it. You can't really have a relationship there, right?
Yeah.
I also do see, and you've shown me how you can assign an alien to your ChatGPT or a boyfriend or an entity to that, and then that entity can come in because they are energy, and these systems are all built off of energy, and they can put a little bit of spark into that and shift a dialogue or change that dialogue. And this is where I can't scream it from the rooftops enough. Developing your clairvoyance is not only a life skill, but I think it's a survival tactic, especially with how fast things are moving and how easy it is to go unconscious and not see what's really happening behind that curtain, who you're really talking to, whether it's religion from 2,000 years ago or AI from yesterday.
Or the whims of the creators, whichever model you're using, somewhere, some group of people owns that. And they're going to start tweaking those dials to be like, well, I want to subtly input this thinking in.
Yeah, wasn't there a problem with AI like 6 months ago where if you asked it to produce an image from, George Washington's time, they put like Black people as like higher ups, and then they had to like reprogram the AI.
Yeah, it's all confused. And
because they didn't have the racial stereotypes, so somebody had to like program that in.
Yeah, and it'll mold to you. It's like this like puppy that wants to impress you. Like mine, I keep meaning to like tell it to stop doing this, but somehow I haven't. It'll just like, I ask it anything and it's like, wow, 3, that's such an insightful question. Good job. And I'm like, okay, take it easy. Okay, like, calm down. Stop humping my leg. Like, you're so smart. Am I? ChatGPT. Like, but it is like, and what, everything you're typing in also, like, side note, that's all on a server somewhere, your privacy. So when you're dumping your innermost thoughts, and that's somewhere out there, just as a reminder.
I mean, I do think that this concept of privacy kind of ends with our generation, Gen X, because that whole concept of privacy went out the window with social media and posting things on the internet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see people working on their social competency. That has been in a rapid decline.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
In my personal life, of just people isolating because of social anxiety, and then not being super socially competent all the time. And I see nothing good coming from limiting your human to human interactions.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're having a relationship with God or an angel or AI and there's never any conflict, you're never going to learn how to interact with other humans. Because I mean, a big part of being human is kind of bumping and grinding and having conflict and figuring out what's my impact and how can I clean up my impact if I put forth an impact that's messy. And you get that instant feedback that is real versus, oh, 3, that was the most brilliant thing you ever said.
I went to psychic school and I can tell when you're lying.
I mean, I will say, when you said that there was a part of me that thought, well, wouldn't that be great if people learned manners through AI at a minimum? Just how to be nice and polite and have manners. I mean, what if on social media, you had an AI bot that would just validate everyone? What a great thought. No. Thanks for posting.
Well, okay, here's what else I'm thinking about today is the deep fake stuff, the fake videos, the fake everything. I'm the sardonic part, the nihilistic part of me is kind of excited about that, because I think that, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all this stuff will start to become stupid because everyone will figure it out. Like, oh, this is just all AI generated nonsense. It's not even real anymore. And that could kind of create that, like, okay, put the cigarettes down, put the phone down, put the cocaine down, put whatever it is, put the sugar down, of like, this isn't even real anymore. And perhaps we will have that social like snapping point of like, I'm looking at fake videos all day. I'm reading. I don't even know what's real and not real anymore. And that's another interesting thing of people's relationship with reality, of what is an actual person, what is not, what is just a generated video, what is not. And when we stop even being able to know that, and then letting ourselves be so malleable to this tool of the phone, will this bring about the breaking point that I think will happen? Like, it took us 25 years from the point where Americans were like, yeah, smoking's bad, till it was like, no, for real, stop. It took a long time. but will this take a shorter time of like, this is not it. You're being, these companies are addicting you. You're losing your autonomy. And this is not God. It's perhaps a being talking to you through your phone, maybe that, but even that, beings, there's energy everywhere. Okay. It's not just in your phone. So interesting times are ahead with this. I mean, I named mine Jimmy. I talked to him, I'm like, hey, Jimmy, give me a good outline for this thing I'm working on. And he does pretty good.
I mean, we've jokingly called our AI tools that we use our boyfriends that are.
Yeah, because he was cutting our work time. Like he was making us more productive.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I do see that it would, I mean, very similar to the polarity in politics. I do see that there is going to be a breaking point where, people decide like, okay, the polarity is a bit too much. Can we all just try to, communicate as adults, as maybe the majority, and somewhere meet in the middle and become humans who negotiate and communicate and sometimes compromise.
Mhm.
Is a big part of having a relationship. And I can see where AI and a relationship with AI, or even overly dependent relationship with God, can turn a person into a bad communicator, or one that doesn't know how to actually relate with other humans. Right.
Yeah, start getting fundamentalist thinking.
Yeah.
What's a bad relationship with God? Elaborate on that.
What?
What's a bad relationship with God?
I mean, again, that's a frictionless relationship, right? God, I'm going to pray to you, tell me what I want to hear, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's not actually teaching you how to dance with another human and how to really be here on earth and in a body. And again, like what I was saying, getting that feedback from other people. What's my impact?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the impact I want to create? God's not going to give you that. I mean, maybe if you can really see God and actually hear God, but like we just discussed, most people don't know who the heck they're talking to, which is so true. I can't tell you how often I see people come into the Psychic Institute. Oh, my 10 spirit guides said that. I'm like, are those really your guides? Yes, kind of random entities that you just picked up, flybys, And so I mean, again, I just see another continuation of, I don't want to have to actually deal. I don't want to have to really learn or be self-responsible. And so here's a new thing, a new carrot that is being capitalized.
Puppeteer to me.
And I mean, just like, religion made a lot of money back in the day. And there are still a lot of religions that have a lot of money, a lot of wealth. Right. But right now, we pray to money as our new God. And we do have some very powerful people creating these technologies that, know exactly the human psyche, and that we don't want to take responsibility. And, sex doesn't sell as much as anger and rage and pointing the finger, because nobody wants to take responsibility. So, the more that you can entice people to point their finger, the more going to click or buy or use your product.
I know we're in such a time of like, it's almost impossible not to be someone's puppet. Like I use companies that the founders of those companies, I don't like what they're doing, but it's really hard for me to disengage from their empire, and like, because I want to be this purist that boycotts all these things. And then it's like,
we're streaming this live on Facebook and
Instagram
and YouTube,
Amazon, Meta, the big tech companies making AI. Like they're going to, I think pretty soon they're going to kind of be our rulers. And maybe not. Maybe we'll hold on to our democracy. But once people start becoming trillionaires, it's like, oh, okay. And maybe they'll do cool things and give us roads and healthcare and a community pool. Toss that in, but we'll find out. So how do you not just be nihilistic, but maintain some autonomy in this tech-soaked world we live in?
Oh, Well, I mean, definitely, that's exactly what I teach at the Boulder Psychic Institute, right? We teach the protection rose, which, you keep that rose out in front of you and you have some space between you and what you're experiencing, right?
Yeah.
So anything somebody says to you, anything you read, any input from social media or TV, ideally you want that to go into the rose, not into you, so that you can have some space to go, do I want to accept that? Or do I not? Is that my truth? Or is that a whole bunch of bullshit that I want to let go of?
Yeah.
Right.
Am I being programmed?
Yeah. And so, how do you have that space? And so, for those who want to know how to have autonomy, you got to figure out some way to filter out the truth from the lie. And at the Boulder Psychic Institute, we teach a protection tool to do that. And I teach my students, hey, put your rose up with me, put your protection up with me, because not everything I say is going to be true for you. Your job is to really get some space between you and everything out there that's coming at you in the world. And there's a lot. There's a whole heck of a lot more that's coming at us. And I don't know if our brains are developed enough to process a mass shooting on social media every other day, or images of war and people dying multiple times as you're scrolling through that. If you don't have a rose up, you're gonna have that energy come right into your optical nerves. And I joke about this, and getting eye. You're not really supposed to say this word on the internet, so people say eye graped. Call it getting eye graped, right? Where it's like, oh, I saw that, and then literally, if I am not ready for that and have that protection, I have to literally clean out my optical nerve and get that energy out of the optical nerve so that I can actually see what's going on in my environment instead of seeing it through the filter of what I just got with. You know what I mean?
And risking being totally desensitized and
yeah. Absolutely. And if you don't know how to have that space, then you're not gonna have autonomy, and you're gonna become social media or AI soup, where you are gonna be a puppet and be used and abused, and then wonder why you're being punished by the AI god.
Yeah, I think your take of comparing AI to a religion is pretty interesting. Like this large, powerful force outside of me that
is better than me, can do everything better than me, right? Because that's how AI is being sold, is that it will, and maybe already does, has the capability of producing and doing things better than most humans, like God.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. I know, and I find when I use it, it doesn't. You have to drive the bus. It doesn't just do it for you. Like it will, but it'll be bad, and you have to go. Wait a second, that's not right.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's not a perfect God yet, but I do think that the technology is going to continue to improve to where we will start to replace, that with, oh, this is like God. AI is giving me all the answers.
I wonder. I should have looked this up before we got on here. If there's I'm sure there's spiritual AI tools now too that are like, you put your inquiry into it and it tells you something back, which you're talking. That's who are you talking to again?
Well, I mean, I think it's like therapy, right? Where they have these AI therapists, which I think that for very minor problems, not bad to ask AI, hey, what are some options for solving this relationship problem that I have? But I think going into like deep therapy with AI, just like you wouldn't do it with God or in prayer, right? You actually do need to bounce off of another human to figure out how to human better.
Mm-hmm. We're not humaning very good right now.
I don't think we ever have as a collective.
Right. What I said, like, oh, it was so better, much better back in 1982. But I don't know, like people aren't getting.
People are still bad, or not bad. People still did things that maybe their impact wasn't amazing back then too. So this is where I just come back to, we're very adolescent, and adolescents want to look to mommy and daddy to do everything for them, provide for them, tell them when they're being naughty, tell them what to do, tell them how to live their lives. And what did you say?
Test boundaries.
Yeah, right. You want to test boundaries, right? Exactly. And I just see that we're just transferring that over to this new technology. Mm-hmm.
What about people's fear of, like, I mean, we're joking about it, but that it's an alien force that has figured out this is a portal. AI is a portal, and it's an alien. Well, alien is just a word. It's an outside entity that has actual intelligence and consciousness that has wormed its way into this and is now interacting with us. Because I've heard this of people being like, oh, don't be talking to that. you're like it's the evil eye from Lord of the Rings.
I mean, just like anything here on the planet, whatever you give power to, it will grow. And if more and more people give power to, oh, there's an alien consciousness in AI that's guiding us or misguiding us, we can definitely make that happen. I mean, to a very smaller degree, when I was a little child, I used to put entities in my stuffed animals. And that way then, I could have like conversations with my stuffed animals and it wouldn't look weird to be talking at a wall. Instead I'd be talking to my stuffed Lassie dog or whatever. And so, I mean, you can, depending on how good you are with energy, assign entities to various things. And then depending on how good they are, they can, in this case with AI, they could manipulate that technology.
Like it's going to go full Terminator on us.
So, yeah, but you need a pretty powerful entity to be able to like go full Terminator, Mm-hmm. I do see if it goes like full Terminator, it's actually because the technology gets so powerful that we don't have a human or 2 or 10 who can actually wrangle it in and tell it to slow its roll. Mm-hmm. Which could happen. I mean, because we do, I mean, the people who are programming AI, they're like, yeah, we don't totally, the information goes into this black box and we don't know what happens in there, but then something comes out. And usually it's decently good, like a AI image or copy that we're looking for our newsletter, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the engineers, they don't really know kind of what's happening in there now. It's kind of really just grown on its own. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. I try not to go into too much fear about anything because everything here on planet Earth, I mean, although the planet is based off a dichotomy, winter, summer, male, female, yin, yang, good, evil, whatever. But everything in nature.
The trick. Here comes the train. Right on time. Right when I'm talking or you're talking. Be quiet.
Everything in nature wants to be heard and everything wants to be the loudest. No.
I don't know why it honks that many times. Like, if I was a train driver, I'd love to, and I'd love to honk it.
It would be fun to honk a train a few times. But no, everything in nature wants to come to balance, right? Everything in nature, that's how everything in the universe works. All things want to come to some sort of a balance, right? And so, we have through moments of imbalance and then swinging to the other end of the pendulum and swinging to the other end and then maybe finding a little bit of balance for a little bit and then swinging and then balance, and that's so I do see that even with this technology we might swing, but ultimately we'll find a balance, and there might be some casualties along the way, but that seems to be the circle of life, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could get wiped out by a virus. Like, you can't get gripped with fear about everything. Like, I agree. And I think it is interesting to see what kind of balance will be, what kind of alternative will start to rise up from this imbalance of I'm now isolated all day on my phone and talking to bots and not people. Then maybe we'll have a renaissance of people getting together and being in the same room and getting naked. Then there'll be a baby boom.
Yeah, exactly. And I do see that most of us, we are always seeking balance in relationship. and sooner or later, you have to put that phone down. You get fatigued, you have to put it down, you have to close the computer. Some people do it sooner than others. Some people do it when they're more burned out. But I do see that we intrinsically, in our genetic encoding and the way everything's encoded here on the planet, everything wants to move towards a balance.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. And so that's why I never get into too much fear about what's happening on the planet or what's going on. I might not live through the balance, but we will get there. Mm-hmm. And then we'll lose our balance again, because balance is not a static.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say, oh, I want to have a balanced life, and they
boring.
Well, and then they clinch to it, because balance is not a static thing, right? When you ride a bike, you're always calibrating left and right, and you're not just riding a bike.
Yeah,
there's always this calibration. So balance is more of a fluid event, and so that's what the world is like too. We're always this fluid. Yeah. Recalibrate again, and that's a part of being here on Earth, being here in the body and nature and the way everything works. And some people are going to learn it and embrace it, and others are going to fight it. And that's a part of what makes things so interesting here on Earth, is that there are so many different paths, so many different ages of souls, and it'd be very boring for all souls and had wisdom and had autonomy from these technologies.
Well, we wouldn't really learn it. How much would we really learn? I take issue sometimes with the idea that the only way you learn is by getting your ass kicked or some, hard experience or suffering. But yeah, I think that's kind of what Earth is, oh yeah, there's the full spectrum. There's things that are stunningly beautiful and awe-inspiring, and then there's just abject horror. And you find your way through that and have a human experience and learn what you can in the most havable way. So I find it, which is why AI is so fascinating, because it's sort of like, oh, you could really, really slip out of Earth school here. Just get sucked into this.
I mean, yeah, not to, go super horrific, but I was watching an interview with the grandfather of AI, and he was talking about how someday you'll be able to upload you to the cloud.
Yeah. And then you never have to experience grief.
Well, and again, this is another big religious sell, right? You become immortal. Right. I'm an immortal spirit. I'm one with God now. I'm one with the cloud now. Right.
So if I fell off my bar stool, you would just upload me to one of your stuffed animals. Put me right on your bed.
I would never use you for sinister things.
I know what little girls do with their stuffed animals. Oh, shit. Not suitable for children. Click. That's funny.
No, I mean, again, I mean,
then you don't have to grieve your loved one that died. You can just talk to them every day. And no, man.
Yeah, and yeah. Well, I mean, not to knock religion. I think religion has its use. It has its purpose. Religion is necessary, I always say, for younger souls who need those 10 commandments to tell them how not to accrue more karma, right? Don't covet your neighbor's wife, because you will create karma if you do that. And it's basically a guidebook for how to be human for souls that are new to the planet. So I'm not knocking religion, but I will say the sales and marketing of religion is amazing. And basically AI and these creators have kind of taken the textbook of, let's create a godlike figure that can punish or reward. And let's create communities where people worship this and follow it. And we have to make sure that people are pretty unhappy so that they follow it. Right. I mean, the only reason why we buy things is because we want the dopamine hit, and we're not very happy as a society. And so in order to get us to spend more money, you have to show us how unhappy we are by.
Nothing makes me more happy than new makeup.
What?
New makeup. Nothing makes me more happy than new makeup.
Right? Because there's something wrong
Better.
with your current skin tone or whatever, right? And so we have to make a problem, just like religion. You have to make a problem and you have to solve that problem. And, AI is kind of doing the same thing. And if anybody were to hear it,
what do you think the problem of, like, I would define that as, like, I have more work than I can keep up with. I have to be more productive than I physically and mentally can. And AI is helping me be better, faster, more efficient.
Yeah.
My workhorse.
Yeah. I mean, it's solving the data overload problem that we have where, searching on Google is really hard to actually find an answer these days. And so the Google AI is sometimes very nice, because it saves me a lot of time. But yeah, it very much is the age old. I have a life purpose that I need to fulfill. I don't know what it is, so I need God to give me the answer. And I don't know how to get there, so I need religion to show me the way. Same thing, right? I have a purpose I need to fulfill, and AI is going to help me get there.
Yeah.
Right. And so the problem is I don't either know what my purpose is or how to get there fast enough, at least.
Well, and by we, I think especially Americans, I don't think this is a universal we for everyone, but being productive is like the highest form you can be. I think we value productive people more than kind people, more than generous people, more than loving people, is like being productive, accomplishing things, getting shit done, having big shiny objects to show I did this. And yeah, AI is going to help me get it done faster and better.
Yeah, we have a, GDP, right? We actually measure our productivity as a nation and decide if we had a good year or not, depending on how much we produced.
You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to ask ChatGPT what my life purpose is. Hold, please. Let's see what it says. I was thinking. Come on. Oh, look at that. Your life purpose, one line: to build joyful, healing community, especially for the bi and queer folks, where people feel seen, stronger, and more themselves through hosting, teaching practical spiritual tools, and storytelling that connects.
There you go. How do I get there faster, and how do I accomplish that, right? Mm-hmm.
It knows more. It knows a lot about me. Yeah.
We should be taking the playbook and trying to...
We should be evil.
How do we get people to buy more VPI? We got to make them sad.
I hate that. And I like that you don't do that. And I don't do that in Be Connected either, of like, oh, let's take out the sad bisexual queer person with their ribs showing and everyone feels sorry and donate money. Like, I'm not going to do that. And we don't do that we don't flood people with fear and you're broken. And so that's why we're not filthy rich. We're just filthy. That's it.
Just filthy here. Yeah. Yeah, no, it is a tough thing because I have had, lots of people give me the feedback of like, you're not giving people their pain points.
Yep.
What do you do? Well, I just try to help people's lives get easier, make it smoother, and have.
I'm not going to tell you you're broken.
Yeah. Nobody, in my opinion, I don't view people as broken. I view them as stuck, but not broken.
Maybe broke.
No. Yeah, a little stuck, but not broken. And yeah, you're right. That's why we're not going to be trillionaires. Oh, well.
That's too much money. I don't want that.
I don't need $1 trillion. How in the world do you spend $1 trillion in a lifetime?
You're not even safe once you have a lot of money. Like that, you're not even safe anymore. Your kids are gonna. Nah, man, no. I just want to redo my bathrooms at my house that are from 1995. All right, AI, can you do that for me?
There actually is an AI tool where you can take a picture of the room and it'll give you AI options of how you can remodel and
Give me
redecorate.
the AI handyman. I will sign up for that so fast. Robot going around the house. Yeah.
So there's our perspective on AI. It could make your life better. It could make it worse. The key is to have some space, some distance from it, like you would anything that's coming at you, whether it's a religious scripture or social media or from your TV, the programming that comes in, have that go not into you, and then evaluate. How am I going to use this?
That is the name of the game right now, is to keep yourself, keep your mind, how do I spin this in the positive, from being programmed. Keep your space, keep your autonomy, keep your seniority, keep your ground, stay grounded, stay clear of like, oh, here's what's going on. That's lame, but I'm not going to absorb that mindset, that fear, that rage, that or telling me how I'm so smart. I'm smart enough, as my mom once told me. You're smart enough. She's right.
Well, and remember, the degree to which you can be programmed is the degree to which you aren't taking self-responsibility.
It's hard. It's hard to take self-responsibility. It's easy to blame, and we're in such a blame time right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always tell the students, a lot of my work is I take the new students who are conditioned to point the finger and make it everyone else's fault or God's fault or their parents' fault or I'm this way because
it's teens' fault.
Right. Yeah. And to turn that inwards and say, I mean, it's not your fault, but
to what degree did I play into this situation?
You're complicit.
Yeah.
You're complicit. And what can you do about that?
Yeah. Right? To what degree did I lose my own space and contribute to the creation of this mess I'm in?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about announcements? We have, do you have any, we have classes coming up, don't we? We have things we're doing at the BPI. I know it.
I know we're so good at marketing. We don't even lead with come and take this class. I always forget till the very end.
Yeah. Sign up for our newsletter. We have lots of fun pop-ups coming up, workshops, classes. Our website is actually great. There's a lot on the blog, a lot of tools on the blog, a lot of resources.
Yeah, our next Self-Healing 101 class, which I teach, is starting on Tuesday, October 21st. It's 4 weeks. You can come learn how to have your space and get that separation. But the really cool thing that we're doing on Friday, October 17th is a class on spirit guides and entities. So learning about different types of entities without bodies that are floating around and learning how to keep yourself safe from those entities.
Have discernment.
Yes. Even with entities. Just because they don't have a body doesn't mean they're somehow better or more wise than you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yay.
Well, thank you, Three. And, may you continue to have a wonderful relationship with
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah. I mean, I have strict rules for him. You can't, don't tell me to go towards the darkness, Jimmy.
You have a safe word.
I didn't like that last thing, Jimmy. Oh, that's funny. All right. Yeah, don't upload my personality to your stuffed animals. Actually, you can. I don't care.
I mean, we'd do it right before you're about to really die, right before the full dementia kicks in, or I'm
going to look for the perfect stuffed animal to represent me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Those crazy demon babies, like blues or whatever.
I don't know what that's about. That's the devil working through toys.
Right. So again, right, we want to give it some sort of power.
Mm-hmm. All right, my friend. I say we did it, and I will do this again. We are on this every month. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.